For the Record, proudly brought to you by
Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury. Doctor's Hospital, peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctor's Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066. And Cayman Airways, call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. Kirk Market, experience a world of choice. JN Money, from abroad to Yad. And Cineco, keeping Cayman covered.
We ask our listeners and viewers to avoid any statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use indecent language or make any statement that is false or misleading. Call 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990, 949-8037, or WhatsApp us on 925-3261.
Live from Radio Cayman Studio.
This is For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Hear from your government officials, independents, and the opposition on issues that matter to you.
For the Record.
Engage in an open dialogue between residents and lawmakers.
With Orrett Connor.
Informative, impartial, insightful. This is For the Record. And now, your host, Orrett.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, O land of soft, fresh breezes and verdant trees, so fair. Today is Monday, the 23rd day of February 2026, right here in the beautiful Cayman Islands. We do hope and we trust that everyone had a restful, peaceful, enjoyable weekend. Those of you who are on our roads, whether you're a pedestrian, a cyclist, or if you're operating any type of motorized vehicle, we urge you to please be extremely cautious. If you are in a rush to go someplace, you shouldn't be rushing in an automobile. Maybe try walking. Why you shouldn't be rushing is because the roadways are not speedways. They're not there for you to compete with other drivers, which is exactly what we see on our roads these days. Drivers competing with each other, tailgating them, resulting in rear-end accidents. And of course, if you rear-end someone, you are usually, I would say always, at fault. Even if the person stops suddenly in front of you, they may have contributed to an accident. But at the same time, if you ensure that there's sufficient space between you and the vehicle in front of you, then you have sufficient time to react. But if you are driving at 40, 45, 50 miles an hour, and you're 1.5, 2 car lengths behind another vehicle, what can you expect? So, number one, you shouldn't be out there competing with other drivers. You should not be in a rush to get somewhere. Leave early enough. And if you realize that you're not going to get there in time, just simply accept that fact. And if, of course, if you can contact the person or individuals that you may be meeting with, or even your job, just let them know that you're going to be a little bit late. But you are endangering other road users when you are out there being careless. Another thing, if you are driving on the roads and you're fearful, if you feel intimidated, then my suggestion is you really shouldn't be out there as well. You should not let other drivers determine the way that you drive. And when I say that in terms of that you shouldn't break the rules of the road because of the dictates of other road users. Drive at your comfort level while at the same time ensuring that you're observing the rules of the road as they relate to the speed that you should be driving at as well. But if you feel intimidated out there on our roads, then you shouldn't be out there. If you feel rushed on our roads, then you shouldn't be out there, as well. And your temperament has to be in accord with the rules of the road as well. So, with that long lecture this morning about the rules of the road, so those of you who are out there, again, please remember to observe the rules of the road because the life you save may just be your own. For those of you who are celebrating a birthday today, or if you've celebrated one over the past few days, we want to wish you a happy birthday or a happy belated birthday, whichever is applicable, and to remind you that For the Record birthday shout-outs brought to you and proudly supported by Coca-Cola and the Credit Union. Coca-Cola available across the Cayman Islands. You should accept no substitutes. From generation to generation, Coca-Cola, still a Cayman classic. And the Credit Union. Credit Union looks forward to serving the Cayman community for the next 50 years and beyond. Those of you who have lost loved ones, again, we want to extend our sincere condolences to you. We hope and we trust that your faith will help to carry you through these extremely challenging times, and that the memories of your loved ones will be a blessing. Those of you who are ill and are either at home or at a medical facility here in the Cayman Islands or overseas, we wish you a speedy recovery. And as usual this morning again, we want to give a big shout out to our colleague here at Radio Cayman, Mr. Joel Wilson. So, folks, I want to thank you for allowing Radio Cayman and by extension For the Record into your homes, into your vehicles as you traverse the busy roads of the Cayman Islands, into your places of work, wherever that may be. As you know, For the Record is a show produced by the staff and management of Radio Cayman, and it is geared towards keeping you abreast of issues as they rise and play out on the local, regional, and international scene. I am your host, Orrett Connor, and you're welcome to join me every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 7:30 a.m. until 10 a.m. During that period, our phone lines are open. We have a toll-free number provided courtesy of Flo. That toll-free number, 1-800-534-8255. You can also call us on 949-8037, 949-6990, WhatsApp number 925-3261. So, first of all, let's look at the birthday shout-outs. And first of all, I want to wish a happy belated birthday to Miss Barbara Ebanks, who celebrated her birthday. Miss Barbara celebrated her birthday last week. Other birthdays that we're going to be looking at today. Let me find the ones for today. Not many. For the 24th, the 23rd, we know that the Honorable Linford Ainsworth Pearson will be celebrating his birthday tomorrow, February the 24th. So we want to wish him happy birthday in advance. Yesterday, Nadera Jackson celebrated her birthday also. So we want to wish her a happy belated birthday as well. If you know someone who's celebrating a birthday or any other momentous occasion, we welcome you to share that information with us right here on For the Record, and we will give them a birthday shout out. Michael Campbell also celebrating our birthday tomorrow, the 24th of February as well. So again, birthday shout outs brought to you by Coca-Cola and by the Credit Union. We want to thank them for their sponsorship, their support as well. And like I said, if you know someone who's celebrating a birthday or any other momentous occasion, please pass that information on to us right here on For the Record. We will give them a birthday or other shout out. That number 925-3261. Let's look at some of the releases that we had from government of the Cayman Islands last week. So there was a release in relation to UK parliamentarians completing a successful visit to the Cayman Islands, and that was a release done. Looking for the date on that. Don't have the date here. Friday. Yeah, Friday. That release was put out. Also, the fact that an escaped Cuban migrant was apprehended. I believe both, there were two escapees. Both have since been apprehended. Also, this was released by Honorable Kenneth Bryan, a letter bipartisan consultation on immigration law implementation and fiscal strategy that he wrote to Minister Michael Miles. Let's see when that letter was dated. It was sent out on Friday. Now, I'm going to say something here. Some may agree, some may not agree with me. And, of course, we want to thank the Deputy Leader of the Opposition, Mr. Bryan, for sharing this information. But I wonder, and these are just my thoughts now, I wonder if strategically, or maybe it was done and this was released on Friday, and maybe it had been sent before. So I'm assuming that when it was published was the same time that it was released. And my thoughts are, or I will ask the rhetorical question then, was the minister given sufficient time to respond to Mr. Bryan's letter before it was put out in the public domain? The reason for that question would be whether or not the minister was given ample time to respond to the letter. And I could see, again, from a strategic standpoint, if the minister failed to respond, then that would be the point in time when you go public with it and point out, here's what we sent to the minister in relation to a bipartisan approach to the immigration law in relation to implementation as well as fiscal strategy. And since we have sent this out, we have not received anything from the minister, rather than going public with it either simultaneously or after it was received by the minister. Just saying, if you have any viewpoints on it, feel free to share them with me. I'd like to hear your point of view in relation to this as well. I believe we do have one caller. We can take that. We want to take the break first so that we don't have to interrupt the caller. Folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the historical vignette series, brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, He hath founded it upon the seas.
Gwendolyn Lily Bush, 1920 to 1999. Miss Gwen was referred to by Colin Panton as the heart of Pan-Carib Agencies, which was dedicated to helping Caymanian seamen get berths with various shipping lines and helping them through the necessary paperwork and processing, from reminding the family what a seaman would need to pack and writing the letters he needed to carry with him, to informing a bereaved family that their father, husband, and son had been lost at sea. Miss Gwen provided tireless service and emotional and moral comfort to Caymanian seamen and their families for almost 3 decades. They were her boys, and over the years, they built her 2 homes, Nearly 400 seamen attended her funeral, and her headstone, provided by the Cayman Islands Seamen, reads, "She was a seafarer at heart."
Radio Cayman's historical vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
Since 1993, Rotary Central has worked diligently each year to provide quality bus shelters to our community. A traveling convenience to our school children, the elderly, young people going to work, guest workers, and visitors using the public bus. We, Rotary Central, help you, our advertisers, make it happen. Your marketing dollar travels a far way. Positioning your message, your product, your services, your presence in over 83 bus shelters. Every dollar you spend, every advert you place helps to build another bus shelter, providing modest comfort for Cayman travelers. Reserve space now on the only billboard medium in the Cayman Islands. Email rotaryshelters@gmail.com. rotaryshelters@gmail.com. The Bus Shelters, a partner in community convenience. Another inspiration program by Rotary Central Cayman Islands.
My mom's a superhero. She always knows what to do when I feel icky. Yesterday, we went to West Bay Pharmacy, and they had everything she needed. Medicine, my favorite Band-Aids with dinosaurs, and even flavored vitamins. Mom says they keep our family healthy. I think they're magic. Don't tell anyone. I think superhero shop at West Bay Pharmacy. West Bay Pharmacy, where the superheroes shop. West Bay Pharmacy and Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner.
Hey, new drivers. Don't just drive, drive smart. Cynical and Inspire Cayman's Safe Driver program will show you how. Get real-life simulator training and classroom sessions to help you gain experience, stay alert, and avoid accidents. Learn to recognize risk, manage fatigue, and make smart choices behind the wheel. Certified participants may even pay less for Cynical motor insurance. Learn more and register at cynical.ky. Cynical, keeping Cayman covered.
She hear clunk and her car stop. I was just about to send her some money, so I send it straight to her JN money transfer card. It cost me less, and perhaps she use the card pay the garage right away. She'll get discount through the JN Rewards program in Jamaica. This card make things easy. You can even get funds at any multi-link ATM.
JN Money Transfer Card. Fast, affordable, convenient. Tell your loved ones in Jamaica about it. Sign up is free.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Yeah, let me tell you, no AC when I was a boy. I still remember just how good an ice cold Coca-Cola was.
The part is, the coolest moms and dads always had Coca-Cola or parties.
The sound when you pop the top, and the fizzle, and that, after that first sip.
Coca-Cola, from generation to generation, that ice cold bubbly. Coca-Cola, still a Cayman classic.
Back in '76, 7 of us came together with one vision to help Caymanians help themselves. From 7 to over 20,000 strong, we still believe in helping members grow together.
Because when one of us succeed, we all rise.
Visit creditunion.ky to become a member today.
The Credit Union, serving Cayman for 50 years and still growing together.
This is For the Record.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. Before we go to our caller, we do have 2 requests for birthday shout-outs. I've been asked to send belated birthday greetings to my 2 children, Alicia and AJ, who celebrated their birthdays yesterday, the 22nd of February. And of course, belated birthday greetings coming from Mom Lois. Also, we have another birthday shout-out here. This one says, birthday greetings to Eileen Sutton from all of your friends and family at the Bosun Bay Presbyterian Church. So birthday greetings going out to Eileen Sutton from all of your friends and family at the Bosun Bay Presbyterian Church. Let's go to our phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, OC. How you doing today?
Hey, good morning. I'm fine. How are you? How was the weekend?
Weekend was good. And I'm fine. I'm here still at the public beach. Kind of late today doing my training. And some thoughts came concerning OC government property, which, we still own quite a bit of property on the beach that is lease.
Mm-hmm.
And OC, I think it's often made mention that the lease is what they call a peppercorn lease. I think that was the wording that we used to hear.
Some were for peppercorn leases, usually to those done to Caymanians or for charitable organizations, as opposed to commercial ventures where it was usually an annual lease. Of course, in those days, it wasn't a huge amount, or maybe it was a huge amount in those standards of those days as well. Mm-hmm.
Okay. What I'm saying, the 99 years.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I am looking at that and thinking about that to see whether those leases can be broken and we bring it down to a 50-year lease, like a 50-year lease, and every 5 years we revisit, or it's renewable every 5 years for it to reach the 50,
mm-hmm.
and then revalue the lease every 5 years, because you know how the cost of living and the cost of property goes up in
mm-hmm.
Cayman, especially
mm-hmm.
beach property.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if that's a fixed amount for that 99 years that they just pay one fee, or if we can set it that every 5 years we revalue and set a new value on the next 5 years that coming, and then you pay that every 5 years,
Yeah, I would imagine.
Then,
I would imagine that, any form of agreement you can put, once the parties to that agreement agree to it, you could put whatever conditions, as long as they're legal, in place. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what I'm saying now, I guess there's still a lot of property that are standing with that 99 years. So what I'm saying is it that they only pay that one fee from way back in that time, like you say, might have been a lot of money back then,
mm-hmm.
but in today terms, that's really no value on that property.
Precisely.
Not that type of value.
Yeah.
So if is there a way, I would hoping if Dr. McField could butt in and tell us if it's a possibility that we could probably get out of that 99 and then do a new lease.
Uh-huh. Renegotiate, renegotiate, yeah.
Renegotiate a new lease, because for you having my property for 99 years, and the property at the time when you did that lease, there was peppercorn or whatever you want to call it, but now there's not such a thing as peppercorn. Popcorn now is almost $25 a pound. So let's get that peppercorn thing out of there.
Well, Lord Graham, I don't want to burst your bubble, but I believe I suspect that many of those leases that were for 99 years, that they have since been renegotiated, when they're coming to the end of the lease, and re-extended. My view on government leases, because there are some Crown properties where condominiums are actually built on because the lease was for 99 years. I don't think that those properties will ever revert. In a legal document, they will belong to the Crown or the people of the Cayman Islands. I don't think that they will ever revert back to the people of the Cayman Islands, especially now that we're allowing them to go 10 stories.
Well, that was where I was going. I wanted to say, ask you if at the end, so okay, we leave it for 99 years, and our new generation are coming up at the end of that 99 years. Do they have to renew that lease? Suppose they decide that they don't want to renew the lease. Does the land claim what's on the property? Does like they say, land claims what's on it?
I would imagine that it would depend on what the specifics are in terms of that lease agreement. You would have to look at each lease agreement and see what the conditions are.
Right, because I'm saying, suppose now we get a generation that comes along and say, hey, we no longer want to renew the lease. Would government be able to require now whatever's on that property? And I'm asking, I'm wondering now, because it was a lease, an agreement lease with an expiry date, squatters' rights would not kick in there, right?
I can't. I couldn't opine on that.
Not an agreement with a lease.
Couldn't opine on that.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to try to grab one more caller before we go to our 8 o'clock news. Welcome you to stay tuned. I know that you will. And the reason for that is that we're going to have a gentleman, Major Lord Mark Lancaster, who is going to be talking about the Cayman Islands Regiment after the 8 o'clock news as well. Lord Graham, thank you very much. Let's grab the next caller. We have about 3.5 minutes. Good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Morning, O.C.
Hey, morning. How are you?
Good, man. Good, man. O.C., I done a post last night, and I want to ask you a question, because you should know these kind of things. O.C., the referendum went through, but okay, from the beginning, I'm the only person in the Cayman Islands that have ever come out openly and campaigned for decriminalization and growing medicinal marijuana in the Cayman Islands. That's history. History has been made. Now, it dragged on, and the referendum went through, and it went through with flying colors, okay? Although it's not non-binding. Okay, I understand that. No, but see, now we've gone before the law reform commission is called, right?
Law reform commission.
Yeah, okay. See, now I would like to find out where are they getting, because they are coming with ideas and blah 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 to go to the government. Now, why can't people like me, who put their neck out on the line for this thing, why can't I be invited into those meetings and put my 2 cents, one cocoa for the basket? I have an idea, right? Everybody has an idea, Right? So why it is, is anything, is there any law or anything in the Constitution saying, well, people like me or other people that would like to have their input into the last product here, why can't we be, if we interested, okay, I want to put my piece too. Because I am sure, O.C., I am sure with this, that it's not one on that law firm thing there, it's not one elected member that has been to prison for ganja, has been punished for ganja. Me and my friends, band members, family members, then Elvis McKeever. Now, see, I don't know if I told you this, because I'm appealing this to I went before the court with the Liganja had, and I asked the judge to give me probation and not to have it convicted.
Yeah, you did mention that before, yeah.
Yeah. And the woman tells me I'm not quite a foreigner. What an insult. No, that's really insulting. Anyhow, I would like for you, if you could check it out or give me an idea, who would I have to talk to have a meeting with these people?
Okay, if what I can tell you is that there has been government releases in relation to the whole thing. On the 12th of February, there was a release. Premier updates the public on cannabis decriminalization and lottery referendum, and I believe that there may be something in relation to public consultation as well. I will look it up after 9 o'clock when we are finished with our guests. I will share that with you. I welcome you to continue to listen in because there has been some communication with it, and I can probably tell you more in terms of what the role of the Law Reform Commission, what that is all about. That is going to have to do with the legalese part of it, I would say. But Mr. Elvis, please stay tuned. Later on this morning, after 9 o'clock, we can get into this discussion. I welcome you to call back during that period, and I promise you that I will have additional information for you as well. With that, folks, we've reached the top of the hour, 8 o'clock news. After the 8 o'clock news, we will be having a discussion with Major General Lord Mark Lancaster. If that name sounds familiar to you, he was served as UK Minister for the Armed Forces at one point in time. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back immediately after the 8 o'clock news.
The voice of the Cayman Islands.
89.9 FM in Grand Cayman and 93.9 FM in Cayman Brac and Little Cayman.
Silver wings shining in the sunlight.
Radio Cayman.
For today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
With your latest news, I'm Carsley Fuller. If you're planning a boat trip today, you may want to stick a pin in that. National Weather Service forecaster Ben Harding tells Radio Cayman there is a cold front on the way that will, quote, progressively affect the Cayman area throughout the day with strong winds and seas expected.
A small craft advisory has been issued this morning as a result and will be upgraded to a marine watch this evening as conditions continue to deteriorate overnight. Alongside this, a strong wind advisory will also be in effect from this afternoon as strong gusty winds are also expected.
The gloomier weather is expected for the next day or so, with a, quote, gradual decrease in winds and seas through Wednesday. Mr. Harding says the National Weather Service expects the Marine Watch to be downgraded to a small craft advisory from late Tuesday night and persist through most of Wednesday. Cabinet's February 11th meeting featured a modest agenda. In terms of legislative matters, ministers approved the issuance of drafting instructions to amend the Health Insurance Act, Health Insurance Commission Amendment Bill, and the Health Insurance Amendment Regulations. They also greenlit drafting instructions to amend the Adoption Act. You can find the full summary of the meeting online at gov.ky. A construction site is targeted in a Bodden Town burglary. Royal Cayman Islands Police Service says the site near Anton Bodden Drive was picked of several items, including drills and other construction tools. The burglary was discovered when workers arrived at 7:30 a.m. Friday morning, and police say it appears the incident took place sometime after 6 p.m. the previous day. The matter is under investigation, and police are asking you to be on the lookout for any of these stolen items, a list of which you can find at radiocayman.gov.ky. If you have any information, you're encouraged to call Bodden Town Police Station at 947-2220. And in other news, Honoring Women Month is just around the corner, and this year's theme is Give to Gain, speaking to the power of collective action. Clinical supervisor at the Family Resource Center, Charmaine Miller, says Cayman has a, quote, rich culture of generosity, with the community having always understood that success is something that's built together.
That spirit is at the heart of what we do at the Family Resource Center and reflects the essence of this year's International Women's Day theme, #GiveToGain, and the action we hope to inspire throughout all of the events that we've organized for 2026.
While International Women's Day is globally observed on March 8th, the Cayman Islands commemorates women's achievement throughout March with Honoring Women Month. Signature events include the Inspire Her Women Inspiring Girls event in partnership with Rise Girls on March 5th, Give to Gain International Women's Day celebrations on March 20th at Hotel Indigo, and the Color Me Purple 5K on March 22nd, leaving West Bay Public Beach. For a complete list of this year's events, head to radiocayman.gov.ky and click on Community Events. Now with a check of international news, here's the BBC, which takes us out of the newscast. I'm Karsley Fuller.
BBC News with David Harper. Prosecutors at the International Criminal Court have accused the former president of the Philippines, Rodrigo Duterte, of personally selecting targets for murder during his war on drugs. A hearing is underway to decide whether he should face a full trial for alleged crimes against humanity. A lawyer for Mr. Duterte, who's in prison in the Netherlands, said his client absolutely maintained his innocence. Chad has closed its border with Sudan, an important entry point for humanitarian aid. Chad's government said the measure was needed to stop repeated incursions by Sudanese armed groups. Whistleblowers have told the BBC that King Charles' brother, Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, charged British taxpayers for massages and excessive travel costs when he worked as a UK trade envoy. There's no suggestion of unlawful behaviour. The German Chancellor has described recent territorial advances by Ukraine as astonishing. Friedrich Merz said Russia was coming under more pressure than often portrayed in the media. Several countries have issued safety warnings to their citizens in Mexico after the killing of the powerful drug lord known as El Mencho. His death on Sunday during a security operation sparked widespread violence. A fierce winter storm is causing severe disruption on the east coast of the United States. Non-essential travel has been banned in New York City, which is under a blizzard warning for the first time in nearly a decade. Rob Jetten has been sworn in as the new Prime Minister of the Netherlands. At the age of 38, he's the youngest person ever to hold the job. Spain's Prime Minister has announced he will declassify files related to an attempted coup 45 years ago. Pedro Sanchez says democracies needed to know their past to build a freer future. BBC News.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman with the latest up-to-date, accurate news and information. For your convenience, the headline news will be repeated on our sister station, Breeze 105.3 FM, weekdays at 8:30 a.m. Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or download the Radio Cayman app in the App Store or log on to www.radiocayman.gov.ky and stay connected to what's happening in the community. Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
Since 1993, Rotary Central has worked diligently each year to provide quality bus shelters to our community. A traveling convenience to our school children, the elderly, young people going to work, guest workers, and visitors using the public bus. We, Rotary Central, help you, our advertisers, make it happen. Your marketing dollar travels a far way. Positioning your message, your product, your services, your presence in over 83 bus shelters. Every dollar you spend, every advert you place helps to build another bus shelter, providing modest comfort for Cayman travelers. Reserve space now on the only billboard medium in the Cayman Islands. Email rotaryshelters@gmail.com. rotaryshelters@gmail.com. The Bus Shelters, a partner in community convenience. Another inspiration program by Rotary Central Cayman Islands.
The 8 a.m. weather update brought to you by
CG Britcade, where people come first.
Good morning. Let's take a look at the latest weather report. Synopsis indicate a cold front located across the extreme northwest Caribbean will progressively affect the Cayman area through today, eventually crossing and becoming stationary east of Jamaica by tomorrow morning. From later today, a rapid increase in winds and building of seas are expected as a result of this frontal passage. Northern and westerly swells are expected today, alongside below-average temperatures, especially for tonight. A small craft advisory has been issued this morning as a result and will be upgraded to a marine watch this evening as conditions continue to deteriorate tonight. A strong wind advisory will also be in effect from this afternoon as strong gusty winds are also expected. Satellite imagery show a few clouds at this time over the Cayman area, with a band of widespread stratified clouds along the frontal boundary of the cold front near the Yucatan Channel. Now the forecast for today calling for partly cloudy skies with isolated showers this morning associated with the frontal passage, and temperatures will be in the low 80s. Winds north to northwest at 5 to 10 knots, rapidly increasing and becoming northerly at 20 to 25 knots with higher gusts this afternoon. Seas will be moderate with wave heights of 3 to 5 feet, rapidly building rough with wave heights of 5 to 7 feet by late this afternoon. Swells are expected along the northern and western coast. A small craft advisory will be in effect, and a strong wind advisory will also be in effect from this afternoon. Tonight, occasionally cloudy skies and temperatures falling near the mid to upper 60s. Winds north to northeast at 20 to 25 knots with higher gusts, and seas will be rough to very rough with wave heights of 8 to 10 feet, and swells are expected along the northern and western coast. A marine watch will be in effect. Also, a strong wind advisory will remain in effect. Low tide will be this morning at 8:20, high tide this afternoon at 1:27, and a low tide again tonight at 8:39. Sunset 6:27, sunrise 6:49, and the outlook is calling for a gradual decrease in winds and seas through Wednesday as the associated high-pressure system begins to shift into the western Atlantic Ocean. The Marine Watch will be downgraded to a small craft advisory from late Tuesday night and persist through most of Wednesday. And that's the very latest on your weather report.
The 8 a.m. weather update brought to you by CG Britcade, where people come first.
If you have an objection to this marriage, speak now or forever hold your...
Don't do it, Tevin! I still love you. I have since the day we stole your mom's car and got matching dolphin tattoos.
Oh, Lordy. Janelle? From spring break, oh wait?
Yes, it's me.
Janelle, you've got to move on.
We're like the wedding guest that doesn't ruin the ceremony. CG Britcade. Good like that.
Radio Cayman Super Jam Show. The #1 drive time entertainment show on your radio.
Brought to you by these kind sponsors.
The Cayman Islands Football Association, CIFA, building a better future for Cayman football.
Cayman Insurance Center.
Don't take chances with your family's future or your valuable assets. Call me today, Michael Webster, at 925-5433.
UWI Open Campus, on-site, online, and on demand.
Visit open.uwi.edu. Call them today at 946-8322. Also brought to you by
Cayman Airways. Call them at 949-2311 to book your non-stop flights to Los Angeles and Panama.
And Coca-Cola. Available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga wholesalers. Accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola.
The #1 drive time entertainment show on your radio.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
Good morning again. This time we take a quick look at what's happening on our roads. It's a crawlathon happening on Cool Road heading to Georgetown. Expect delays. Further up on Shamrock Road, traffic is moving at a moderate pace. Further down, a little different story, steady at traffic. As you approach the Linford-Pearson Highway, I can also see a cruise ship in the Spots area. So just to let you know that. Coming off of Bobby Thompson Way, steady traffic, and continuing on to Huldah Avenue, and steady traffic coming off of Agnes Way. Heading east on Crew Road, traffic is moving at a moderate pace. Back to downtown Georgetown on Edward Street, moving on pretty good. And into Georgetown on Shedden Road, traffic is moderate. Owen Roberts Drive, light to moderate traffic flow as well as coming from the West Bay 4-way stop. Godfrey Nixon Way is flowing at a moderate pace as well as on Northtown Road and the Industrial Park area. On the West Bay Road in front of the Ritz, traffic is steady heading towards the Georgetown area and heading towards the West Bay area on the West Bay Road. Traffic moving at a moderate pace. Now, if you see any accidents or incidents, let us know by calling us at 949-6990. And that's what's happening on your roads. Join us again at about 10 minutes past 12. We'll give you another look at traffic.
Feeding a crowd? Subway Catering makes it easy. Choose from freshly made sub and wrap platters in 2 sizes, or go for individual boxed meals, complete with a 6-inch sub, cookie, and chips. Perfect for groups of 15 or more. And don't forget dessert. Our freshly baked cookie platters come in 2 sizes, so there's always enough to go around. Visit www.subway.ky to view our catering menu. You can call or email us to place your order. Then choose to pick up in-store or get hassle-free delivery. However you cater, we've got the fresh flavors everyone loves. Subway. Eat fresh. Cater with ease.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
Healthcare Pharmacy, caring about your health for the past 25 years. Radio Cayman's premier health show.
Alzheimer's and dementia, are they the same disorder?
Yeah, I think that's a very important question.
For the Health of It with Tara Bush.
For the Health of It with Tara Bush.
Is heard on Saturdays at 9:30 a.m. and on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Brought to you by Healthcare Pharmacy in Grand Harbor, where they care about your health. Transfer and refill your prescription online. Visit healthcarepharmacy.com. or call 947-8900. Healthcare Pharmacy, now with a second location in Governor's Square. Healthcare Pharmacy, where they care about your health.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. For those of you who are just joining us, before we went to our headline news at 8 o'clock, I did mention one of our guests that we would have in the studio with us this morning. That guest is also accompanied by Captain Tyler Lawson of the Cayman Islands Regiment, and it is my pleasure to welcome him along with General Lord Mark Lancaster. He is a senior British Army officer and a member of the UK House of Lords. He has had a long military and defense career serving as operations overseas, and in senior leadership roles within the British Army Reserve. He also served as a UK Minister for the Armed Forces. During that period, he played a central role in supporting the creation of reserve regiments in the United Kingdom overseas territories, including the Cayman Islands and the Turks and Caicos Islands. He was appointed honorary colonel of the Cayman Islands Regiment on the 2nd of July 2021. As honorary colonel, he is formally linked to the regiment's identity and long-term development. The role, of course, is symbolic and strategic in nature. He is not involved in the regiment's day-to-day command. So, with that introduction, gentlemen, let me say good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Morning. Thanks for having us.
Good morning. It's great to be here. Thanks for having us on.
And Captain Tyler Lawson, I want you to introduce yourself to the people of the Cayman Islands, our listeners, and our viewers as well.
Sure. So I'm Captain Lawson. So I've been in the regiment for, I think, about 6 years now. I joined on the inception, so in 2020, and I've progressed through the ranks to where I am now over the course of those 6 years. I've always lived in Cayman. I was born here, raised here. My family's from here, and I think that this was just an opportunity that I jumped on and took it, and I've thrived in so far.
Okay. General Lancaster, again, welcome to For the Record. And our listeners and our viewers would love to hear, about the regiment, the history of the regiment as well. And also about your illustrious career. I will say this much. When we were talking off air, just making preparations, for the show, I questioned our panelists, and in particular, the general, in relation to, do we want to take calls or should we have people just send their WhatsApp messages or comments that they may have. And both options are open to you because the general will also tell you that he's been a politician. So he's been out there in the public sphere as well. And tell us about yourself, General.
Well, it's great to be here. Yeah, I am a slightly unusual beast. I was a member of Parliament for 15 years in the UK and was a UK Defence Minister, which was my involvement with the regiment, and perhaps we can come back to that in a minute. But throughout my life, I've also been an Army reservist. I have been an Army reservist for 38 years now. I know I look far too young. It's lucky we're on radio. But it's been the backbone of my life. It's been the one constant in my life, which is why I'm passionate about the reserve. It's a way that people can contribute to their community. It's also great to, giving people confidence, giving them training. It really benefits employers as well when their employees are part of units like the Cayman Islands Regiment. And I would encourage anybody to join. And in my military capacity, now that I left the lower house, I was very privileged to be appointed to the upper house, to the House of Lords, where by convention you only talk about your areas of expertise. I think it's a pretty good rule. So I'm certainly a good rule for politicians anyway. So I talk about defence and security. So I work for the Army as head of the Army Reserve in the UK, which is about 30,000 people as a general. And then in the afternoon, I serve in the House of Lords. And of course, whilst not formally part of the British Army, the Overseas Territory Regiments, which I helped create, as I say, we can talk about that, are fantastic organisations. And as honorary colonel, my job really is from a UK perspective to make sure that the Cayman Islands Regiment gets everything it needs in support from the UK. So that's, for example, sending Tyler here off to courses in the UK, or as our potential young officers going to the Royal Military Academy Sandhurst to get that professional training for the 8-week course that reservists do, or indeed ensuring that specialist teams can come over here and train the regiment, because it's to everybody's advantage that you've got this on-island capability. And I must say, my goodness me, we were out training yesterday, and I'm just so proud. I'm so proud of the young men and women in this regiment. What they have achieved and what they continue to achieve is fantastic.
And can you talk a little bit about the history of the regiment? We know, for instance, that Bermuda probably has the oldest regiment in the Caribbean overseas territory. We here in Cayman at one point in time had something called a home guard, during the war as well, which would probably be sort of akin to a regiment. But can you talk a little bit about the history?
Sure. So there are 6 overseas territory regiments. The old guard are Bermuda and Gibraltar, and indeed the Royal Montserrat Defence Force. They were created, as you say, there's been bits and pieces, but Bermuda and Montserrat were created in about the 1890s. And then the new kids on the block are the Turks and Caicos Islands Regiment and the Cayman Islands Regiment. And the history really is that we all recall, obviously there's been several hurricanes over the years, but Hurricane Irma devastated the British Virgin Islands back in 1718. And I was the privilege of being the Armed Forces Minister at the time, so that's sort of like the number 2 minister in the Ministry of Defence. And I came to the region and visited the Royal Montserrat Defence Force with on Limes Bay, one of the ships. The UK always has a ship in the region to offer support, as you know. And we visited Montserrat, and I visited the Defence Force, which is a much smaller island and a much smaller unit. But it gave me the inspiration, really, to think that we ought to have a on-island humanitarian assistance and disaster relief capability for all of the OTs. So I wrote to the then Governor Martin Roper and indeed Nigel Dakin in the Turks and Caicos Islands, saying, look, if you wanted to create a regiment, as Minister from the UK, I would offer all the support you needed to set that up, the training, the kit, the equipment, and develop it. and both former Governor Roper and former Governor Dakin and TCI both accepted the offer, and that's really how it started. So I wouldn't describe myself as one of the grandfathers of the regiment, because any contribution I've made over the years pales into insignificance compared to the efforts that have been done by Caymanians here. But I'm very proud to have been part of it from the start. I'm very proud to continue to play a role, and I mean, all I can say to your listeners, you have my absolute personal support to make sure that this regiment continues to go from strength to strength. And to see it now not only operating here in Cayman, it was involved obviously with avian flu before Christmas, but to see some of the regiment in Jamaica, helping the Jamaicans clear up after Melissa. I mean, it just shows how far the regiment's come. And to see that, I hope we're all proud of what the regiment's delivering.
Certainly, and of course we had our experience in 2004 with Hurricane Ivan, and we had the Bermuda Regiment come over here and assist us as well. And now, gentlemen, of course the establishment of the regiment here in the Cayman Islands was not without some form of controversy, and that has now been overcome. So can we talk about some of the initiatives, some of the good things now that we're seeing, as far as the regiment is concerned?
Yeah, absolutely.
On a day-to-day basis.
I'd love to talk about that. So in my role in the regiment, I'm the assistant training officer, so I'm heavily involved in any of the day-to-day training the regiment does, as well as putting people along specialist courses and further in their training and sometimes their education. So the regiment is a great opportunity for young Caymanians, or anybody, young, old, it doesn't matter, as long as you fit within the age bracket, to actually come along and learn new skills, new trades. For example, I think the prime example of that, I can use Corporal Salmon as an example, because he's one of my stars. I'd say he's one of my stars. But he's gone along to UCCI, funded by the regiment, to go and do his mechanic certification. Now he comes back from the UCCI, comes back to the regiment, comes back, and then he's working on our vehicles. We built him up to put him into that role, and we aspire to keep him in that role, to continue his education, to continue sending him on courses, to continue sending most members of the regiment on courses. Another great example is I think we've done electricians courses as well, and carpentry courses, where we send individuals on these courses so they can bring those skills back to the regiment, whereas then we can go back into the community utilizing those skills to then provide a better service. But not only do we like to send people to go and get skills, we also love to find skills within the community that already exists. Electricians, carpenters, engineers, these are the skills and trades that we look for in the regiment, because we're predominantly an engineering regiment. We do repairs, we do disaster relief, and these are the type of skills that we do require and like to train people for.
Excellent. Anything you want to add to that?
No,
General?
Just listening to Tyler here, you can see how bright the future is for the regiment. And that's one of our sort of key priorities. Really, is that we're determined that this should be a Caymanian, led organisation. You can't just instantly create a commanding officer for a regiment. It's one of those and same with our junior NCOs. It does take time, and we've had a fantastic colonel over the last 3 years, and Lieutenant Colonel Roger Carter, who came from Trinidad and Tobago. But we are determined to train and promote our young Caymanians, both as junior NCOs and indeed junior officers. And Tyler here's a great example of that. But it takes time. But the aim is by 2030 that we will have a genuine Caymanian-led regiment. So we're well on that path. It's great.
Okay, one of our listeners has written in and asked, what is the age limit to be a part of the regiment?
So it's 18 to 54, I believe. Or is it 50?
55, I think.
It might be 55, but there are sometimes exemptions to that.
Okay.
On the higher end, obviously.
I guess depending on the skill set that you bring to the table?
Absolutely, depending on the skill set that you can bring to the table, because you don't necessarily need to be in an operational role. There's always a support and administrative roles that are also required.
So you qualify?
Just barely.
Well, me too. I'm 55, so yeah. But actually, to be serious for a moment, of course. So, for example, we're just changing the law in the UK, where of course, it's being in the military is a energetic sort of younger person's activity. But as Tyler quite rightly said, we also recognise there's all sorts of specialist skills that we need. So there is flexibility, and it's rightly so. Everybody can contribute.
Okay, gentlemen, we're going to go to a commercial break. When we return, General, since the regiment's establishment, you've continued to advocate for its strategic development. That has included, several initiatives, and I'd like you to speak to some of those initiatives when we return. Folks, please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
Did you know that 1 in 4 persons in Cayman has been diagnosed with raised blood pressure, or that 14% of our population do not eat any fruits or vegetables, or that 70% of Cayman's adult population is overweight or obese? The STEPS 2023 National Health Survey gives us information on the prevalence of risk factors for non-communicable diseases, such as heart and lung disease in the Cayman Islands. Your health matters. Let's step into Wellness Cayman. Learn more by logging on to gov.ky/steps.
My mom's a superhero. She always knows what to do when I feel icky. Yesterday, we went to West Bay Pharmacy, and they had everything she needed. Medicine, my favorite band-aids with dinosaurs, and even flavored vitamins. Mom says they keep our family healthy. I think they're magic. Don't tell anyone. I think superhero shop at West Bay Pharmacy. West Bay Pharmacy, where the superheroes shop. West Bay Pharmacy and Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
Ready to launch your career in hospitality?
If you're an ambitious young Caymanian, the DART Hospitality Training Program is your opportunity to shine.
This paid 4-month program gives you hands-on experience at world-class properties like Kimpton Seafire, the Ritz-Carlton, Hotel Indigo, Hampton by Hilton, and Bonnie Moon Beach Club.
Plus, DART has partnered with Lynn University to deliver an intensive 2-week hospitality curriculum from an accredited institution.
Gain real-world experience, learn from the industry leaders, and open doors to full-time careers in hospitality.
Applications close April 6, 2026, with programs starting May 2026.
Apply now at dart.ky/hospitality.
At Kirk's Home Center, we can make your life much better. We got it all together. We got a great deal in store for you. From cookware to stereos, from power tools to plumbing supplies. Yeah, we got the best goods with the best price and a service to make you smile. At Kirk's Home Center, we got a great deal in store for you.
This is For the Record.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. For those of you who are just joining us, let me tell you who we do have in the studio with us. We have from the Cayman Islands Regiment, CaptainTyler Lawson, who's recently been promoted to captain, effective the 1st of January of this year. And we have General Mark Lancaster, who is an honorary colonel. He is formally linked to the regiment's identity and long-term development. He serves symbolic to a certain extent because when you hear him talk and when you hear about his knowledge and the role that he has played, he has, formed an integral part of the development of the regiment, not only here in the Cayman Islands, but the British overseas territories as well. We have spoken about his role in the establishment and ongoing support. Of course, when the concept of a Cayman Islands regiment was proposed in 2019, General Lancaster was serving as Minister for the Armed Forces. Like you heard him say earlier, he worked closely with the Premier and the Governor at the time to champion and advance the proposal. He visited the islands, engaged with local leaders, and helped initiate the process that led to the formation of the Reserve Unit with UK support. His most recent visit to the Cayman Islands was, of course, in October of 2024. Since the regiment's establishment, he has continued to advocate for its strategic development. This has included supporting, so we're going to talk now about supporting increased Caymanian participation and leadership growth. You mentioned that earlier. Encouraging cooperation between overseas territories regiment. We spoke about some of that, and we can go into more detail. And promoting joint deployments such as the current humanitarian assistance and disaster relief mission in Jamaica following Hurricane Melissa. He has also supported initiatives to reduce the cost of UK military courses for Cayman personnel, establishing greater investment in local leadership development. This includes opportunities for officers to attend commissioning training at the Royal Military Academy, Sandhurst, as well. So let's talk about dive in depth into some of those initiatives as well. And before you start, I'll just remind our listeners, if you have any questions or comments, you can send them by WhatsApp. The phone lines are also open if you have questions and comments. If you do call, we're asking you to try to please be as brief as possible. Our toll-free number is 1-800-534-8255. If you're calling from a flow number, you can also call on 949-8037, 949-6990, and the WhatsApp number 925-3261. General, over to you.
Well, thank you very much, and that's a long list. And yes, just to confirm, I'm the honorary colonel, but I play no formal part in the command of the regiment at all. That's very much a Caymanian led thing. But having been involved from the start, I'm just keen to support in any way I can. And the initial intent was always to develop on-island capability, which is always supporting, never in command, never in the lead, supporting the police, supporting Danny Coleman, the wonderful Danny Coleman, in her leadership role at hazard management, but really just offering, at times of crisis, a disciplined, uniformed organisation that can give auxiliary support. And to see it develop has been remarkable, and we've already touched on extending beyond just post-hurricane clear-up, the urban search and rescue capacity that has been developed. Indeed, we've been off in Trinidad and Tobago teaching them how to do that. And also, once we got that initial operating ability, which is developed after 4 or 5 years, in the same way that you touched on how the Bermuda Regiment came to support Cayman post-Ivan in 2004, I think you said. Really making a contribution where we can play our part, Cayman, in the region. And we're seeing that right now as Caymanians are on Jamaica with other British Overseas Territory regiments helping the clear up of Melissa, but also extending beyond just humanitarian assistance, with the regiment helping with the avian flu crisis beforehand. But also you see the regiment out and about. I think we were helping with the agricultural show last week, other events. And it's just that auxiliary workforce, on a, forgive me, compared to the United Kingdom, a relatively small island, where you need that support, you need that capacity. And just that gradual development, embodied in people like Tyler here, I just find, it's wonderful. And I just reiterate, anything I can do to support. You will always have a friend over the water in the United Kingdom to make sure that we are getting the training courses. And there have been developments. You touched on it. We no longer will have to pay for these major events that we send people over to in the UK, which is good, because the UK recognises it's to everybody's advantage that there's this capability here on island. But it is, and I emphasise, a Caymanian-led organisation. We're just here to support.
Okay. So, Mr. Lawson, Captain Lawson, can being a member of the regiment, joining the regiment, also serve as a springboard for a career in other areas, if not the regiment?
Yeah, absolutely. So we actually have a history of that. So a lot of young Caymanians, or a lot of individuals at the time of the first inception of the regiment, I'll use this as an example, joined the regiment, mainly because there wasn't much to do at the time. It was the middle of COVID, so there's a lot of things in lockdown. They came in, they learnt new skills, they bolstered their CVs, and then after a year, after 2 years, with that bolstered CV, they then went and sprangboard from being a reservist in the regiment to then maybe joining the fire service, joining RCIPS, joining Coast Guard. So the regiment has a history of training some individuals in what we do, but then those individuals then go ahead to broaden their horizons in other careers such as law enforcement or fire service.
Now those, and this is a little bit political, but I won't dwell on the political part. Those persons who feel that we shouldn't be moving any further forward as far as self-determination is concerned, that is becoming an independent country, always speak to the fact that we have no armed forces, we have no army, we have no air force. But I would seek your views on this, that these days, while some threats may be of a man-made nature, in terms of people's egos and their territorial pursuits.
I wonder who you're talking
about. Close neighbor. That the challenges are coming more from Mother Nature and what we have done, to cause Mother Nature to react in the way that she has. So we see more and more entities like the regiment being involved in humanitarian work as opposed to military. Can you speak to that?
Yes. Forgive me. You're clearly not going to draw me into. I've been around long enough. Thank you very much. As I sit here in uniform, not to be drawn into that. And that's for the people of Cayman to decide. But I think the whole point is, and this is the message I want to get across, is that yes, the regiment is in uniform. But it only ever supports. It never takes the lead. It's here to support the police service. It's here to support the Coast Guard. It's here to support, and I always use the word wonderful in front of Danny Coleman, and her organisation. But what it does provide, if you like, is a really effective insurance policy for the people of Cayman that at times of natural disaster, and the biggest, let's be clear, the biggest threat to Cayman, whatever your introductory comments, are natural disasters. That was the purpose of setting up the regiment. And I think it really has proved its worth in recent years. As I say, I won't get drawn into the wider politics. That's for your politicians to discuss as they move forward. But, let's focus on the regiment. And I think what has been achieved is wonderful. And we have a determination that should continue.
Okay. And to follow that up by some calls for some form of national service here in the Cayman Islands. We used to have things like 4-H clubs and other civic organizations that served as guidance. I was involved in Scouts, as a matter of fact. I'm the chief commissioner for Scouts in the Cayman Islands. But you find these days that many of those organizations are competing with other organizations for our young people. But there are those who believe that if we are to continue to preserve the social and moral fabric of the Cayman Islands, we need people to have some sense of national purpose, of national service, doing something for your country because you want to do it. We don't have that, but it would appear to me as if the regiment is sort of could serve that purpose, or is serving that purpose.
Well, the regiment is serving that purpose, but purely in a voluntary capacity.
Right.
And I've not heard any discussion about national service. And the whole point is that the regiment provides a medium where, on a voluntary basis, that people can join. It's exactly the same at home, but equally, the UK government has just announced a scheme where traditionally you would join the military, the regular armed forces, for a period of time. The UK military government has just announced a scheme where people will be able to spend a gap year in the army. Indeed, my own son, who's just turned 18, before he goes to university, is planning on joining.
You've just aged yourself.
Yeah. Well, I'm 55. I think I look pretty good for 55. Thank you very much. Now I've got a tan from Cayman. But my own son is going to, on a voluntary basis, have a gap year in the army before he goes to university. It's a great thing to go and do, but let's emphasise the voluntary. There's no compulsion or plans for conscription or national service, and I don't think we're at that point, and I can't imagine we'll be going back there.
Certainly. Gentlemen, we're going to take our last commercial break. Time goes quickly when you're having fun. When we return, we want to, General, talk about some of the activities taken place that I should say that have taken place during this visit, because I believe you depart the Cayman Islands sometime today, as well. Folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
Hey, new drivers, don't just drive smart. Cynical and Inspire Cayman's Safe Driver program will show you how. Get real-life simulator training and classroom sessions to help you gain experience, stay alert, and avoid accidents. Learn to recognize risk, manage fatigue, and make smart choices behind the wheel. Certified participants may even pay less for Cynical motor insurance. Learn more and register at cynical.ky. Cynical, keeping Cayman covered.
Did you know that you can send money transfers to financial institutions anywhere in Jamaica with JN Money?
You mean I can send money straight to my account and cut out the middleman?
Yes, that's exactly what I mean. You send your own money to your own account, giving you peace of mind that the money is in your account.
JN Money Transfers to Financial Institution is another convenient service offered by JN Money. You can have this done from any JN Money location. Deposit your money straight to your account without the hassle of asking someone to do it for you. JN Money Transfers to Financial Institutions, making life easier.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning.
Ouch!
When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
Your Yesteryear Musical, Saturday evenings at 7 o'clock on Breeze Radio. Entertaining, enlightening, and inspirational. Topical with CI cultural and heritage flashbacks and the wonderful music of yesteryear, from the Thomas Edison era to the recent past. Your Yesteryear Musical, Saturdays at 7 p.m. on Breeze Radio, 105.3 FM in Grand Cayman and 91.9 FM in Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. Be listening, history is always echoing.
Fall in love with your space. Enjoy 30% off custom closets now through Saturday, February 28th. Why not give the gift that lasts? A custom design closet, perfect for his, hers, or both. Professionally designed, expertly installed. Hurry! Offer ends Saturday, February 28th. Don't miss this opportunity to save 30%. Brand Source Custom Closets, Dorsey Drive Industrial Park. Call 623-5000 today. Celebrating 50 years of broadcasting in the Cayman Islands. This is Radio Cayman, 89.9 FM.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We're on the last leg of this segment of the show this morning, talking about the Cayman Islands Regiment. That conversation has been taking place with CaptainTyler Lawson and General Mark Lancaster. We have been joined in the studio by Miss Danielle Coleman, who is the Director of Hazard Management, Cayman Islands. Danny, welcome into our new studio. And your name has been invoked several times this morning as well. So we welcome you to talk about the role that the Cayman Islands Regiment has played in terms of working with your organization.
Thank you, OC, and a very good morning to all the listeners out there today. And I'm loving the new studio. It's fantastic. Thanks. So really nice to see it all in the flesh. We work very, very closely with the regiment, obviously, during activation, no matter what it is. I mean, avian flu, obviously, they were very heavily involved in the avian flu response in November, December, but also other things, anything from migration to hurricanes to earthquakes to oil spills, you name it. The regiment has sort of joined at the hip with hazard management throughout the whole thing. We also do a lot of training with them during blue skies. So, of course, you need to make sure your response is response ready. And in order to do that, you need to train very closely together and become very, very, good networking, good conversationalist, friends, ultimately good friends, because that really is required. That trust is required in any activation. But yeah, we love working with the regiment. They have been a fantastic asset to the Cayman Islands. They certainly make me sleep better at night. If you'd asked me 5 years ago, as Director of Hazard Management, how comfortable I slept at night, it was pretty minimal. Nowadays, it's a lot easier knowing that we've got a really good cohort from the regiment there. So, yeah, really enjoy always working with these guys.
Okay. General Lancaster, we want to talk about some of your activities here, and we'd like you to include in that the new home for the regiment. I know how it is sometimes to be kicked from pillar to post. I believe at one point in time on Middle Road, they were actually occupied an office in our scout headquarters at one point in time as well. So I'm going to throw the mic over to you, sir.
Well, that's very kind. I tend to come once a year, and I was in Turks and Caicos last week, visiting that regiment. I'm here this week, but we started with a very productive meeting with the Premier on Friday morning, and then over the last couple of days, I've basically been out training with the regiment. We had the privilege of having the governor come out for training yesterday over at a new site in Northwood, where we had the governor driving a JCB and cutting down trees with a chainsaw. And I must say, she's scarily good with a chainsaw. I mean, that tree came down in
girl power
in seconds. Absolutely right. I tell you what, she put me to shame. And I'm supposed to be an engineer, but the regiment's been split across 3 sites with a vehicle park at Fairbanks, with an office block and a separate store, and that's fine in the early stages of development. But very much the plan is now to try and consolidate onto a single site at Northwood, and the first stage of that. The challenge with Fairbanks is that it does flood, which is not ideal for a vehicle site. So we've been out clearing that site, and we will be moving to a temporary location there. But the ultimate plan is to build out that site so that the regiment can have a permanent home strategically located in the right place on the island. and also, of course, providing proper facilities for if we do need external help, then there's a place where people can come to, and when we have short-term training teams coming onto the island, they've got a proper place. It's not going to be a massive site, but it's just a consolidated site in one place. And then, of course, I think ultimately there's even greater plans for that site, but that's for Danny.
It's sort of, we do multi-agency work, cross-collaborative work. So, trying to get a sort of multi-agency training centre. I think Cayman is very, very good in a lot of things, and I think in the disaster response field, we work very closely, and I think we're all fairly well respected in the region for a lot of our infrastructure that we have here in the Cayman Islands and our practices. So ultimately speaking, I think that's our aim, is to sort of be recognised as best practice for a number of things. And of course that would be a multi-agency training centre, ideally down the line, would be our pipe dream. But we'd love to see it coming to fruition. Hopefully the next decade, while we're all still here. But it is very important. I think making sure things are fit for purpose and built for purpose is going to be very important. And because we all work very closely together between the regiment, ourselves, fire, Coast Guard, police, cadets, you name it, health services, we want to make sure that we've got something that, we can do these great spontaneous activations or these exercises that, without any notice. So we're really testing our capacity as opposed to having to, plan getting a room here and a room there. I think that would be a really good thing to have in the region, to be regionally excellent, perceived as regionally excellent.
One of our listeners wanted to know, in terms of your appointment to your honorary role with the regiment, how long does that last? Is it lifelong, or does it change?
No, the only lifelong appointment I have is to the House of Lords, which is a wonderful thing. But it's not lifelong. I've been doing it for 5 years. I think whilst I stay as a general in the army, which is probably another 2.5 years, meaning that I have direct access into the British Army, genuine influence and ability to sort these challenges out, I will continue to do it. But then at that point, my duty will be to find somebody else equally passionate and committed to take over from me. So you've probably got me another couple of years, I'd have thought.
So this is a little social part of things, and part of us here in the Cayman Islands. So I'm going to share this. I shared it with Tyler, but there's a Tyler Lawson there. My question has nothing to do with the show per se, but is Tyler Lawson a Caymanian? If so, can you tell me who his dad is? Who he for? Is it
from Anthony by any chance?
Who he for? This could never be the little Tyler Lawson that I knew, who I'm thinking is still a little boy. So again, it goes to show you the development in the Cayman Islands and what the regiment has done, to you. Give you an opportunity to respond to that, Tyler.
Unfortunately, I have to break the illusion. Yes, I am still probably that little Tyler Lawson that you knew from way back when. And yes, I am Anthony's son.
And hasn't he grown into a wonderful man? Yeah.
Yes, certainly. So we have about 4 minutes left to go. Tyler, I want to give you an opportunity for some closing comments, because we're going to, of course, let the general have the last say.
Absolutely, yeah, I 100% agree. I think in closing, at least for me, is I think that every young Caymanian that is undecided about what they want to do in the future and is still deciding on, do I want to go away to school, do I want to develop a trade, should, if they are staying in Cayman at least, give the regiment an opportunity, give it a try. Whether you like it or don't like it, you're not tied into the regiment for a prolonged period of time. Like how the general was saying in regards to that 1 year joining on a gap year for the UK, you only have to join the regiment for a minimum of 2 years, and then you're on a rolling contract base after that. And no one is going to hold anything against you if you decide after you've joined, maybe you've spent a year, maybe you spent 2 years, that you want to move on to bigger and better things. No one is going to hold that against you. We only want to help develop Caymanians, develop the resilience of Cayman, and to provide a service. So if you're interested, if you're willing, I think it's definitely worth reaching out. You should watch our socials, our social medias, to see when we'll be recruiting again, and just give it a try. You might like it, and I hope you did. I hope you like it. I hope you'll enjoy it as much as I have, and I hope you get the opportunities that I've been able to get. and experience what I've been able to experience since joining 6 years ago.
Okay, Dana, you want to chime in?
Yeah,
before?
just very quickly. Again, it's always a real pleasure working with the regiment. It's great to have the General here. He really is a friend of the Cayman Islands. And again, it's giving back to your community, be it the regiment or other first responding agencies. There's so much you can do when we get activated for an emergency, be it joining a CERT team, but shelter management. There's so much you can volunteer and give back, because we all need to work together throughout Blue Skies, but also especially when we have an emergency. And I think it's absolutely critical to support these guys. They work very, very hard. I've seen them over the weekend, bits and pieces, albeit more on a photograph as opposed to in person. But it's exhausting work, and it's great to see them come so far in the last 5 years. And that's largely, again, down to the General and the staffing, but all the volunteers at the regiment, all the reservists. We're really, it's always a pleasure to work with them.
General?
Well, look, it's great to be on today. I mean, I'm probably going to go further than I should and say that I absolutely know that we will be recruiting very shortly. So I would encourage people to look at the regiment's social media. I think, very shortly, with a view of doing basic training in the summer. I would really encourage people to join. I mean, how can you not listen to the story of people like Tyler and not being from the little boy that once was to the man he is today? Don't worry, my father, he still thinks I'm a little boy, Tyler, so I shouldn't worry about it. And not be inspired. So please check out those social medias. I can only continue to say what a pleasure it is to have the wonderful Danielle Coleman here today and everything that she's done. My role is a very minor role, but I am committed to continuing to do it for as long as I can. Really believe in this regiment, and anything I can do to support, I will continue to do.
And very quickly, while we talk about training overseas in the UK at Sandhurst, it is very difficult to send a whole regiment over there to train. Do we also get instructors coming from the UK to train our members here?
Absolutely right. We call them STTT, short-term training teams, and there's been a whole stream of them over the last 5 years to come and do bespoke courses in one way or another. It's also really good for them, of course, because it forms a partnership between the UK and the Cayman Islands Regiment, and it's all about that partnership, because ultimately we will probably have to work together.
Mm-hmm. Captain Lawson, I am sure that you will be an inspiration for other Caymanians to want to join the regiment as well. Thank you very much for your service. Danny, thank you very much, for what you do at Hazard Management Cayman Islands. And, to the General, I want to wish you safe travels. It's been, a pleasure having this discussion with you. And again, thanks for your commitment to the Cayman Islands and the regiment as well.
Thank you. Great to be here.
Folks, we've reached the top of the hour. We're going to have our headline news. When we return, the phone lines will be open for you to discuss some of the issues that you may want to discuss. Don't change that dial. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The Headline News is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
Cabinet's February 11th meeting featured a pretty short agenda. Ministers approved the issuing of drafting instructions to amend the Health Insurance Act, Health Insurance Commission Amendment Bill, and the Health Insurance Amendment Regulations. They also greenlit drafting instructions to amend the Adoption Act. You can find the full meeting summary online at gov.ky. In international news, the U.S. National Weather Service says parts of New York saw nearly 15 inches of snow overnight as a major storm hit the U.S. eastern coast. Winter storm warnings stretch from North Carolina to northern Maine, with warnings also in place in parts of eastern Canada. More than 5,000 flights into and out of the U.S. have been canceled so far, and hundreds of thousands of people are without power. In New York City, where non-essential travel is banned until midday local time, reports suggest the snow is shin-deep in places. Video shows the Empire State Building engulfed by snow overnight by the storm. Up to 2 feet of snow is expected in some places today. It's the first time in 9 years that New York City has been under a blizzard warning. And members of the Jalisco New Generation Cartel, one of the most powerful and feared criminal organizations in Mexico, have unleashed a wave of violence across 20 Mexican states. They torched businesses and erected burning blockades in retaliation to the killing of their leader, who died in custody Sunday after being captured by Mexican special forces. Mexico's most wanted man was seriously injured in a firefight between his bodyguards and the military commandos deployed to capture him. He died while the military was transporting him to the capital of Mexico City. Those are your headlines. I'm Karsley Fuller.
More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
At HSA, we strive to provide the highest standard of care with compassion, integrity, and dedication. And so we say thank you, Cayman, for continuing to make us the most awarded organization on island by voting us the best of Cayman Islands in 9 medical categories. Your support reminds us why we do what we do, to serve the Cayman community with kindness and excellence. To find out more about our award-winning services, visit hsa.ky. At HSA, we are committed to caring for you.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or belly fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. Those of you who are just joining us, we had General Lancaster in the studio with us, Honorary Colonel with the Cayman Islands Regiment, and of course newly promoted CaptainTyler Lawson, who did some training in the UK as well. He's promoted to captain effective the 1st of January. And then we were joined by Ms. Danny Coleman, Director of Hazard Management, Cayman Islands as well. If you have any viewpoints in relation to what was discussed, please feel free to call in. Phone lines are open. Toll-free number 1-800-534-8255. You can also call us on 949-8037, 949-6990, WhatsApp number 925-3261. So earlier in the show, we had Mr. Elvis McKeever call in from the BRAC, and I promised him that I would find the press releases in relation to the update on the cannabis decriminalization. Didn't mention the lottery referendum, but both of these referendum issues have been referred to in a release issued by the government of the Cayman Islands on the 12th of February of this year. I had to sort of like strain my eyes to see that date on the 12th of February of this year. Premier updates the public on cannabis decriminalization, lottery referendum. Says having nearly completed its review into cannabis decriminalization and establishing a national lottery, the Law Reform Commission will next develop a public consultation paper. So, in plain language, the Law Reform Commission has completed its review into the issue, and they will now be developing a public consultation paper. So that is where the public will be able to have their say. Says the consultation is expected to commence in mid-2026 and subject to consultation outcomes and resourcing. The final report expected in Q4 of 2026, said the Premier, Honorable Andre Ebanks, MP. So the final report is expected in Q4 of 2026. So that would be December, November, October, somewhere in October, between October and December of this year. Premier noted that the Commission's established law reform process involves research and analysis. A lot of work to be done. So it involves research and analysis, publication of a discussion paper, public consultation, and a final report with recommendations. Where appropriate, the final report may include draft legislative amendments. Here's a quote from the Premier. In June of 2025, shortly after the general election, the NCFC government asked the Law Reform Commission to provide its learned recommendations and guidance on these two matters. And I am pleased to have received subsequent updates from the Law Reform Commission chair as to its members' work. So that's a quote from the Premier. Regarding decriminalization of possession and consuming small amounts of cannabis, the Commission's initial work has focused on confirming the scope of the review, identifying relevant stakeholders, and preparing a comparative analysis of different regulatory approaches. Following this, the Commission has advised that, and these are bullet points, 1, a discussion paper is expected to be developed in early to mid 2026, discussion paper. 2, public consultation is anticipated in mid 2026, and a final report is expected to be completed later in 2026, subject to consultation outcomes and resourcing. So consultation, outcomes, and resourcing. I would imagine that resourcing probably is involving financial support in terms of what is necessary to get this initiative, to move this initiative forward. So again, here are the steps. A discussion paper is expected to be developed in early to mid 2026. We are now in February of 2026. Mid 2026 would put us to June. So we should expect a discussion paper. After that discussion paper has been published, then we should expect a public consultation to take place in mid 2026. And then after that, a final report is expected to be completed later in 2026, subject to consultation outcomes and resourcing. The release then goes on to say for the national, the question wasn't about the national lottery, but I may as well include that because that's included in the release. For the national lottery, the Commission is reviewing options, including possible regulatory models, governance arrangements, safeguards, and public interest protections. This involves research into legislative and oversight models, market and economic conditions, harm minimization measures, and integrity and enforcement frameworks. The Commission has indicated that, and this is again now, folks, for the National Lottery, research and preparation of a discussion paper will continue through mid-2026. Public consultation is expected to occur in the middle of 2026, and the final report and recommendations are anticipated in late 2026 or early 2027. Government referred both matters to the Law Reform Commission following the 30th of April 2025 national referendum, in which 55.64% of voters supported the decriminalization of the consumption and possession of small amounts of cannabis, and 51.24% supported introducing a national lottery. And we should point out that these percentages are of those persons who voted, I believe. I'll double check that. The Premier acknowledged the Commission's previous successful reviews, including its foundation work on the now published Registered Land Amendment Bill 2026. Independent review processes are essential to ensuring that future policy decisions are informed by evidence, expert analysis, and public input, he said. The Law Reform Commission consults widely in performing its detailed work, and this government will consider recommendations once the process is completed. The anticipated end date for the submissions of the report on the decriminalization of cannabis is October 2026. So that will be, that's the anticipated date for submissions of the report. And January 2027 for the National Lottery. Further updates will be provided as the Law Reform Commission reaches key milestones, including the release of discussion papers and the opening of public consultation periods. So that was issued on the 12th of February of this year. I don't believe that anything has come out since then, but if something has come out since then, please let me know. So there you have it. And what we would hope and what we would trust is that when the public consultation period is open, and whatever means the Law Reform Commission may use to receive the public's input, whether it be through district town hall meetings, whether it be through online surveys or whatever, we hope and we trust that you, the public, will get involved one way or the other in it, especially those who have been so vocal about the whole issue of decriminalization of consumption of cannabis as well. That is where you will get your opportunity to have your say. Yes, you may call about it on talk shows and opine about it as well, but you're not sure how far those messages are getting. But certainly, if you put your proposals, put your opinions either in writing or otherwise, through whatever medium the Law Reform Commission allows, then my advice to you would be go ahead and do that as well. Folks, we have to go to a commercial break. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
Did you know that 1 in 4 persons in Cayman has been diagnosed with raised blood pressure, or that 14% of our population do not eat any fruits or vegetables, or that 70% of Cayman's adult population is overweight or obese? The STEPS 2023 National Health Survey gives us information on the prevalence of risk factors for non-communicable diseases, such as heart and lung disease in the Cayman Islands. Your health matters. Let's step into wellness, Cayman. Learn more by logging on to gov.ky/STEPS.
There you go, sir. Thanks for choosing JN Money Transfer.
Boy, thanks to JN Money Transfer, I can stay right here in Cayman and pay Mama bills back home in Jamaica. Her water, light, phone and other bills never late. Every month I pay everything in one place.
Make payments to over 30 companies in Jamaica through JN Money Transfer. Fast, affordable, convenient. Call 1-800-744-1163 for details.
My mom's a superhero. She always knows what to do when I feel icky. Yesterday, we went to West Bay Pharmacy, and they had everything she needed. Medicine, my favorite band-aids with dinosaurs, and even flavored vitamins. Mom says they keep our family healthy. I think they're magic. Don't tell anyone. I think superhero shop at West Bay Pharmacy. West Bay Pharmacy, where the superheroes shop. West Bay Pharmacy and Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner.
Fall in love with your space. Enjoy 30% off custom closets now through Saturday, February 28th. Why not give the gift that lasts? A custom design closet, perfect for his, hers, or both. Professionally designed, expertly installed. Hurry! Offer ends Saturday, February 28th. Don't miss this opportunity to save 30%. Brand Source Custom Closets, Dorsey Drive Industrial Park. Call 623-5000 today.
With Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. No guests in the studio, so the phone lines are open. Meanwhile, I am providing you with as much relevant information as I possibly can based on press releases and everything else, scanning through newspapers locally as well as internationally, bringing you as much information as I possibly can. We do have a caller. Before we go to the caller, I just want to point out that you heard General Lancaster speak about the former commanding officer of the Cayman Islands Regiment, Lieutenant Colonel Roger Carter, who is retiring after 36 years of military service, including 3 years leading the Cayman Islands Regiment. So it is pointed out that an official announcement of the new commanding officer for the regiment will be made in a press release from the governor's office. So we look forward to that and curious to know who the next commanding officer of the Cayman Islands Regiment will be as well. We do have a caller. Let's go to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, me again, brother.
Good morning. Good morning. Okay.
Yeah, man. I listen attentively what you say because I read the thing too.
Mm-hmm.
But what I am saying is now, okay? We had the referendum. It met with flying colors. Now the Premier gave it to the Law Firm Commission. So how I am looking at this, they go to report back to the Premier on how they think the law should look or the change of the law should look. My thing is this. I ran an election, okay, for an election. And my idea, which I done researches too, and I don't have the resources that they have. So obviously, they're just sitting down in the office drinking coffee and say, oh, make them fools wait for ganja. But then the back and get it, how they can get it. Jail them for it. That's one of my disbelief. What I am saying, OC, is that the people. So after you come, if I ask you to do something for me, after you come back and give it to me, I can say, oh, see, thank you for this. Now we go and ask the public what they think. But the public opinion, to me, is not valid then. Because they have been on this now, soon be a year, and by then it'll be almost a year and a half. I mean, see, it's not a nuclear device that they're manufacturing or putting something else, you know. It's a simple change of the Cayman Islands law about marijuana.
Well, it's a simple change in the law, but Mr. Elvis, it is also a significant change in terms of our habits and the impact that it may have. And those are things that need to be taken into consideration. We have to look at what has taken place in other jurisdictions. But where I have a difference of opinion with you is that the Law Reform Commission is going to come back to the people. They're not going to make a decision on their own. They're not going to make recommendations on their own. Their recommendations are going to be based on the research that they do as well as the feedback that they receive from people like you.
Okay, but tell me something. What are they doing now? What are they doing? And they looking to see what happened in Canada, what happened in Jamaica?
I did give you the stage. I did give you the stages. So something. We're in February now, and somewhere between now and June, more will be done, or even before then.
See. Now let's be real, now, my friend. Now we talking about a plant that grows called greeneart. Okay. Now Canada is fully legal. It's legal in America, certain areas. The federal government can soon start banking the money and things. We're not talking about changing the constitution of the Cayman Islands that foreigners can run in, but we're talking about changing a simple law that I, Elvis McKeewa, if I choose, you, Mr. Orrett Connor, if you choose to use cannabis, you will be allowed 1 ounce, 2 ounce, 10 plants that you source for yourself. Okay? If you are found with more than that, well, the law is there. You go to jail, or you pay a fine, or you do community service. That is simple. Now, I hear some people talking about, well, where they can get it from. Where they getting ganja from now? They're not smuggling it in. That's the only difference. I beat it. If they find you with too long, say you're free. If they catch you smuggling it, you're in trouble. That's your business. But if you so choose to grow your little garden, just like how the backyard farming, where you got your little tomatoes, your little pepper, you think you got your little 5 herb trees, then some people just like the herb just to buy the tea, Now, everybody smokes the weed, Okay? But what I am saying, OC, for the love of God, why it just taking so long? We got, one part of it I read that they're talking about penalties in different countries, because I was in there. How can you penalize something if you telling me this all you can allow? Well, if you go with that, you're in trouble. See, alcohol is being served every day. I watch the governor, I watch the premier, I watch all of them drinking the alcohol at the Cayman cookout, big front line paper news. Okay? Everybody there was drinking alcohol. Now, if they drunk too much and get in the car, they over the limit. What can happen to them? They lose their license, probably go to jail if they kill somebody. Right? I mean, so what is the big stigma about decriminalizing marijuana? And
Mr. Elvis, I know that you have been involved in the law, but when you're involved in writing legislation, in writing laws and making recommendations, it is really not as simple as ABC.
Okay, Mr. Osi, tell me something now. You remember the scooters, the lead paddle bike, all of them was against the law, right?
Mm-hmm.
They've been breaking the law for years and years.
Mm-hmm.
How long it took for Cabinet to go and get in there and say, listen, come, let's talk to the insurance people, let's talk to the police. They done it within 6 weeks.
But you saw what happened with that as well. There were stumbles along the way. That is why you have to be so careful and meticulous in terms of what you do.
Now, Mr. O.C., tell me something now. Did they have a referendum for that? No. Didn't have to. No. They was illegal all the time for years, and no one was ever arrested, right? Not one soul was arrested for riding those scooters without license, without insurance, without helmet, without anything. But we had a referendum and 10,385 people voted, and people are still being arrested for a joint of marijuana.
Because that referendum was not binding. It's not binding. It's up to the government's goodwill to decide whether or not they're going to move forward with it. It wasn't a binding referendum because it wasn't a people initiated.
Yeah. Thank you for saying how the government look at that if they want to appease us. But tell me something now. Who voted for that? It wasn't Cayman.
Mm-hmm.
Every person that registered voter is a Caymanian. So what you trying to tell me?
Well, what I'm saying is that there are certain things that take priority and certain things that don't really go that far up on the totem pole. We have seen what the government has introduced in terms of legislation, necessary changes, be it with financial action task force to ensure that we're compliant, as far as our obligations and in the financial markets go. So we see where the government has placed its priorities.
Mr. O.C., I know that, sir. Let me tell you something. I know that. I am quite aware of that. I am not stupid.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that you are. I'm just pointing out that, I'm just pointing a fact out, really.
Yes, sir. Okay, Mr. O.C., look at this fact now. There is nothing more important in any country than the freedom of the citizens and the future of the next generation, that we have ruined generations over simple marijuana.
I agree wholeheartedly.
Come in here and get a job, because every Caymanian youth that born in the 70s, 80s, 90s, 95% want a criminal record for what? Mm-hmm. Possession of one stick of marijuana, 2 trillion seeds of marijuana. It is wrong. It is shameful. And it's time for the Cayman Island government to respect the wishes of the people.
Got you.
Before teens, you know something? The voices got soon stop, and then you got to hear different sounds. Mm-hmm. So, thank you very much for being here this morning.
Thank you very much, caller. We have to take a commercial break. About half an hour left to go in the show. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
Fall in love with your space. Enjoy 30% off custom closets now through Saturday, February 28th. Why not give the gift that lasts? A custom design closet, perfect for his, hers, or both. Professionally designed, expertly installed. Hurry! Offer ends Saturday, February 28th. Don't miss this opportunity to save 30%. Brand Source Custom Closets, Dorsey Drive Industrial Park. Call 623-5000 today.
Hey, new drivers, don't just drive smart. Cynical and Inspire Cayman's Safe Driver program will show you how. Get real-life simulator training and classroom sessions to help you gain experience, stay alert, and avoid accidents. Learn to recognize risk, manage fatigue, and make smart choices behind the wheel. Certified participants may even pay less for Cynical motor insurance. Learn more and register at cynical.ky. Cynical, keeping Cayman covered.
Social media, X, formerly Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Interact with our talk shows on YouTube. Download our official Radio Cayman app, or you can log on to our website, www.radiocayman.gov.ky. You can also add us to WhatsApp
on 925-3261.
All the latest information, breaking news, community events, and more. Radio Cayman.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. Folks, I have make no claim of being clairvoyant or anything, but you heard me share with you, about the retirement of Lieutenant Colonel Roger Carter, and what I shared with you that the governor would soon be making the announcement in relation to his replacement. Folks, at what time did this come out? I'm looking for it. 8:56 this morning. Here's the press release. Change of command. Governor announces change of command for the Cayman Islands Regiment, 23rd of February, 2026. Dear media partners, please find below the press release for your attention being sent on behalf of Her Excellency, the Governor, and the Cayman Islands Regiment. Governor announces change of command for the Cayman Islands Regiment, 23rd of February, 2026. Her Excellency, the Governor, has announced a change of command for the Cayman Islands Regiment with the formal handover from Lieutenant Colonel Roger Clark to Lieutenant Colonel Graham Muir, scheduled to take place on the 26th of March. In accordance with the Defense Act, Major Muir will be promoted to Lieutenant Colonel by the Governor following selection by a promotion board comprised of representatives from across government, including the Office of the Commissioner of Police, the Ministry of District Administration and Home Affairs, the Governor's Office, and other relevant stakeholders. This appointment forms part of the Governor's long-term succession planning long-term succession planning for the regiment and its transition to Caymanian leadership in the shortest possible time. Promoting from within the existing officer cadre reflects a clear commitment to developing established leaders, strengthening institutional continuity, and ensuring that command responsibility is underpinned by experience gained within the Cayman Islands context. This approach is further evidenced by the Governor's recent promotion of two Caymanian officers, Lieutenant Tyler Lawson and Lieutenant Cassandra Jackson, to the rank of captain on the recommendation of the Regiment Promotions Board. As officers move into new roles, others assume greater responsibility, broadening leadership depth and building sustainable command capacity across the organization. The incoming commanding officer, Major Muir, originally from Northern Ireland, has served as the regiment's training and operations officer since January 2024. He brings over 20 years of military experience, including 17 years of full-time service as an officer in the British Army. His career has included training and mentoring Army officers on promotion courses, equipping him with valuable expertise in leadership development and professional standards. He has also served within the UK's military headquarters with oversight for disaster response operations, experience that will support the continued strengthening of the regiment's role in national resilience and coordinated multi-agency responses. Major Muir maintains strong professional links with the United Kingdom Ministry of Defence and other UK Overseas Territories regiments, including those currently deployed alongside Cayman Islands personnel in Jamaica. These relationships will support continued dialogue on training, access, cost efficiencies, equipment acquisition, and specialist assistance when required. Then they offered a tribute to the outgoing commanding officer. Her Excellency the Governor extends sincere thanks to Lieutenant Colonel Roger Carter, who retires after 36 years of military service, including 3 years as commanding officer of the Cayman Islands Regiment. Under his leadership, the regiment has strengthened its operational capability, expanded its contribution to national resilience, and enhanced its regional engagement. This change of command reflects the Governor's ongoing commitment to building a sustainable Caymanian-led defense capability, one that invests in its people, strengthens national resilience, and continues to develop leadership capacity for the future of the Cayman Islands. And it ends there. So we see Mr. Roger Muir, Major Roger Muir, now being promoted to commanding officer of the Cayman Islands Regiment. We want to wish him all the success as well in his endeavors. Okay, we keep. Got you. Okay, yep, I'll share that. What else? Breaking news here. This one, what time did this go at? 9:26 a.m. Press release, Premier to attend CARICOM meeting this week. Let me share this one with you. Premier, the Honorable Andre Ebanks, will attend CARICOM's 50th regular meeting with Caribbean heads of government in St. Kitts and Nevis. Chaired by the Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, the Honorable Terence Drew. The meeting will be held Tuesday, the 24th of February to Friday, the 27th of February. Its theme is Beyond Words, Action Today for a Thriving, Sustainable CARICOM. Cayman Islands is a CARICOM associate member. Premier noted the meeting will cover subjects reflected in our country's 2026-2028 broad outcomes, such as enhanced overseas relations, trade development, food security, climate resilience. The Premier said, building a stronger, fairer Cayman means being a modern, innovative Cayman. And this doesn't happen in isolation. It happens by discussing and working through issues with the beloved people of our islands, with international stakeholders, and certainly with our regional brothers and sisters with whom we share so much fascinating history, rich heritage, and deeply held values. On behalf of Cayman and my NCFC colleagues, I very much look forward to enhancing and maximizing Caribbean bonds of fellowship and economic prospects for the benefits of our collective people. While Premier is attending CARICOM, Deputy Premier and Minister for Tourism and Trade Development, the Honorable Gary Ruddy, will be acting Premier and Minister of Planning, Lands, Agriculture, Housing, and Infrastructure, the Honorable Joanna J. Ebanks, will be acting Deputy Premier as well. So, folks, that's the latest coming off, hot off the press, as far as the Premier attending the CARICOM heads of government meeting. This is, the 50th regular meeting, with the CARICOM heads. I've had the opportunity of attending a few of those as well. I attended one in Antigua. I also attended one, I believe it's in Anguilla as well. These meetings are extremely important. For those of you who know our history, there was a point in time when our Caymanian leaders, when they attended many of these regional meetings, people felt that their countries were being slighted because we were always talking about the Cayman Islands, and some people may have thought that we were trying to show up their countries by talking about all of the successes that we achieved in Cayman. And then, of course, there were those political leaders who looked down on organizations like CARICOM. Don't you sit there for 1 minute and believe that becoming a member, even an associate member of CARICOM, and we can't be a full member of CARICOM unless the UK government allows that. Of course, there was one country, Anguilla, I believe it was, I have to look that up again, which is an overseas territory, but has full membership in CARICOM. That was sort of an error of sorts, but it was never reversed. But other than that particular territory, all other members have been associate members of CARICOM. I remember when Bermuda was becoming an associate member of CARICOM, they contacted the Cabinet Office to inquire about the process, inquire about how we felt as being an associate member of CARICOM as well, and they have joined. But again, it took brave political leadership here in the Cayman Islands to even decide to become an associate member of CARICOM, because while people say, well, Bermuda is, in more up in the North Atlantic, and they're in some respects not looked at as being a part of the Caribbean, or thought process or actions even here in the Cayman Islands, like I pointed out when attending regional or international meetings, we sometimes acted as if we weren't part of the Caribbean, that we were all by ourselves because we were this magical island, these magical islands that had accomplished so much that we shouldn't really be identified with the rest of the Caribbean, some of whom that we felt may not have achieved as much as we have at that point in time. And some may argue, they will say, well, we may not have achieved as much, in terms of development and finance, but you know what? We have been able to exercise the right of self-determination, and we decide what direction our country will go. With that, we will take our last commercial break. Maybe that will prompt someone to call in and to talk about that as well. If not, when we return, I will share with you some of the decisions made in Cabinet at the post-Cabinet meeting that took place on Wednesday, the 11th of February 2026. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Fall in love with your space. Enjoy 30% off custom closets now through Saturday, February 28th. Why not give the gift that lasts? A custom design closet, perfect for his, hers, or both. Professionally designed, expertly installed. Hurry! Offer ends Saturday, February 28th. Don't miss this opportunity to save 30%. Brand Source Custom Closets, Dorsey Drive Industrial Park. Call 623-5000 today.
Celebrating 50 years of broadcasting in the Cayman Islands.
50 years of music.
This is Radio Cayman, 89.9 FM.
50 years of life. We are the rhythm of the city.
Radio Cayman.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. I always want to acknowledge WhatsApp messages that came in. This one has sent something in relation to marriages of convenience, and I will read the whole thing. I won't read it on air, but I will absorb the whole thing. Meanwhile, I'll just point out that is one of the areas that you've heard the Director of Work, Mr. Jeremy Scott, as well as Minister Miles, his Chief Officer, Mr. Wesley Howell, talk about that will be addressed in the various amendments to the immigration law as well. So I just want to point that out. We have one message here. We are asking all motorists to use extra caution today. Our roads are wet, and that means stopping distances are longer. Visibility can drop quickly, and those slick patches can catch you off guard. Please slow down. Keep a safe distance from the vehicle in front of you and take your time at intersections and roundabouts, whether you're heading to work or just running errands. Arrive safe. Drive with care on our wet roads. From your friends at Radio Cayman. And in terms of keeping that distance between you and the vehicle ahead of you as well, also ensure that you are paying attention when you are driving. Driving is a full-time endeavor. You're not driving part-time out there where you're looking to see who's in the other cars crossing you, or in many instances that we're hearing now, persons eating their food while they're driving and ending up rear-ending others as well. It is ridiculous. What are you thinking about? What are you thinking? Driving is a full-time job. You are responsible for the safety of every other person with whom you interact on our roads. Come on, people. Come on. You can do better. If you can't do better, then we need to get you off the roads as well. Let's go and look at the cabinet meeting Wednesday 11th, held at the Cabinet Conference Room, Government Administration Building. In attendance was the Honorable Franz Manderson, who acted as Governor, Honorable Gary Ruddy acting as Premier, Honorable Ralston Anglin acting as Deputy Premier, Parliamentary Secretary, Honorable G. Wayne Panton acting as Temporary Minister for Financial Service and Commerce, Honorable Nicholas DaCosta acted for the Honorable Minister Joanne Ebanks, Minister of Planning, Lands, Agriculture and Housing, Mr. Strand Borden acting as Deputy Governor, and Mrs. Marilyn Brandt acting as Attorney General. All other ministers and cabinets were present. At the meeting, Cabinet confirmed approval granted by circulation on the 9th of February for the issuance of drafting instructions to amend the Health Insurance Act, Revision Health Insurance Commission Amendment Bill 2026 and the Health Insurance Amendment Regulation 2026. Cabinet also approved, pursuant to Section 52 of the Customs and Border Control Act, Revision 2, refunds of import duty. Cabinet also approved the issuance of drafting instructions to amend the Adoptions Act 2024. They approved, pursuant to Regulation 16B of the Legal Practitioners Students Regulations, revision to permit a person to register for articles of clerkship. I would point out for you that in this particular case, I believe I know a little bit about this in terms of the reason that this was necessary was because the person would not otherwise have qualified to be registered for articles of clerkship because maybe they weren't Caymanian. Cabinet also approved, pursuant to Section 3 of the Notaries Public Act, revision, the appointment of the following persons as notary public: Haley Alistair, Satania Cohen, Abigail Gilmete, Jaron Leslie, Kaylee Macaneras, and Alice Narborough. Cabinet also approved the opening of a public road and the publication of declarations pursuant to Section 3 and 6 of the Roads Act, revision as depicted by a boundary plan. Of course, I don't have that boundary plan here. Cabinet approved the lease of office space for the Department of Labor and Pensions in Cayman Brac. They approved the renewal of lease for the Department of Community Rehabilitation in Cayman Brac. Cabinet noted tax undertaking statistics for December 2025 and January 2026. Cabinet also noted the Cayman Islands Aquatic Center update and noted the 2025 Civil Service Employment Engagement Survey highlights. That should be interesting to see that one. The Civil Service Employee Engagement Survey. That was a survey that was conducted. It would be interesting to see that. So those were all of the actions taken by Cabinet at their meeting on Wednesday, the 11th of February, 2026. I've been happy to share that with you as well. What else do I have to share with you? Still have 6 minutes left to go in the show this morning. Scanning everything that I possibly can to ensure that you are fully updated as far as what's happening in the Cayman Islands. Here's a WhatsApp message. Let's see. This person wrote in and said, good morning. In regards to cannabis, ganja, marijuana, how would the importation of it be done and by whom? Good question. We know that as far as medicinal cannabis is concerned, that is now regulated by government. They go on to say, what's the legalities of the above? If persons are allowed to use it, where does it come from? What about age? How is that treated? Thank you. Many unanswered questions, and this is why the Law Reform Commission has to do research, seek public input, look at other jurisdictions, look at what's worked, look at what hasn't worked, and also at the end of the day, here is the huge elephant in the room. What will the United Kingdom allow the governor to assent to? What type of legislation? That has been the difficulty that has been encountered in other jurisdictions, in particular, Bermuda. Of course, Bermuda was seeking to go way beyond what our referendum called for and what was approved by the majority of voters. So theirs was considerably different whether or not any legislation that we introduced here will have any implications on the international obligations of the United Kingdom, because that is what they have always argued. That is the story. So there has to be lots of consultations, lots of back and forth, and it would make sense to keep the governor and the UK up to speed with what is being considered, what is being proposed, so there is no embarrassment along the way. Of course. Another strategic move would be, this is what you want. The politicians can take this approach, the government. This is what you want. Okay, we're going to put it in legislation and we have the numbers down at our parliament to have it approved. We can have it all done and then have the governor not assent to it. Then, of course, we can blame others. We can say, we tried, but we're still an overseas territory and there's only so much that we can do. We tried and it was not assented to by the governor. So several approaches to this. But people need to bear in mind, and I hear Mr. Elvis, and he has some really, really solid and relevant points, as well. But my main one is that, yes, while we heard from the people of the Cayman Islands, it was only the number of persons who voted, as opposed to the population in general. Number one, I agree with him that the people have spoken. And do you then, that 51% or 54%, do you ignore what they have done? I don't think that the government wants to be seen as ignoring. That is why they're moving ahead with it. I believe that they're doing it in earnest. I don't believe that they are slow walking it. I believe that there are many things on the table for them to do. A lot of work for the Law Review Reform Commission as well. So let's see what takes place, what happens, at the end of the day. We need to be patient because we want to, whatever comes out, we want to get it as right and as perfect as we possibly can. Folks, I want to thank all of you who participated this morning. I want to thank the representatives from the regiment. I want to congratulate those persons who have been promoted within the regiment as well. If you are a young person between the ages of 18 and I believe 55, and you have an interest in some form of national service, what better way to do it than to join the regiment and do your part to help Cayman. So again, thank all of you who engaged. Don't forget to join Mr. Charles Glidden Shallow at 12:15 for Talk Today. And as usual, folks, we ask the good Lord to please continue to bless these three beautiful, wonderful Cayman Islands.